Hey guys, let's get more news about Miami Dolphins, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Howard Twilley, wide receiver for undefeated 1972 Miami Dolphins team, dies at 81. Howard Twilley, a key receiver for the Miami Dolphins during the team's perfect 1972 season and a Heisman Trophy runner-up at the University of Tulsa, has died. He was 81. Twilley died Wednesday, according to a Tulsa spokesperson, who confirmed the death with his family. No cause of death was given. Twilley caught a touchdown pass in Super Bowl VII against the Washington Redskins, a 14-7 victory that capped Miami's 17-0 season. He also played for the team that repeated as Super Bowl champions the following season. He had 212 receptions for 3,064 yards and 23 touchdowns during an 11-year pro career that lasted until 1976. At Tulsa, Twilley put up eye-popping numbers during the mid-1960s, an era when teams usually stuck to the ground game. He caught 261 passes for 3,343 yards and 32 touchdowns in college. His school record for career yards receiving stood until Kalen Stokes broke it in 2022. In 1965, Twilley was the Heisman runner-up to Southern California's Mike Garrett. He had 134 catches for 1,779 yards that season, NCAA records that stood for more than 2 decades. He caught 5 touchdown passes against Louisville and had 230 yards receiving. He had 267 yards on 16 catches against Memphis, 242 yards on 18 receptions against Southern Illinois, 226 yards on 14 grabs against Cincinnati, and 214 yards on 19 catches against Colorado State. Twilley was the captain of the Academic All-America team in 1965 and the MVP of the 1966 Senior Bowl. Minnesota selected Twilley in the 14th round of the 1966 National Football League draft, and Miami chose him in the 12th round of the American Football League draft. He chose the Dolphins, a first-year team, and stayed with them his entire pro career. After leaving football, Twilley owned and operated sporting goods stores in Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Texas. He considered running for Congress in Oklahoma in 1994, but chose instead to support another former Tulsa receiver, Steve Largent. Twilley was inducted into the Tulsa Athletic Hall of Fame in 1984, the College Football Hall of Fame in 1992, and the Oklahoma Hall of Fame in 1995. Tulsa has retired his number 81 jersey. Dolphins' rising pass rusher gives major respect to Bills' star offensive lineman. One thing that the Buffalo Bills can look forward to each season is their 2 matchups against the Miami Dolphins. Even though the Bills have found a way to completely dominate the Dolphins, Miami still leads the all-time series, 62-60-1 per Pro Football Reference. The Dolphins are 5 games ahead of the Bills in the regular season, but the Bills have won 4 of the 5 playoff meetings. Since Josh Allen was drafted in 2018, the Bills have only lost to the Dolphins twice, 2018 and 2022. In their first 2018 matchup, former Bills tight end Charles Clay dropped a wide-open pass in the end zone that would have given the Bills a win. Instead, Buffalo lost 21-17. Then in 2022, where in the scorching Miami heat, the Bills lost half of their starters due to the heat and the Dolphins hung on to a close 21-19 win. 1 win by 4 and 1 win by 2, not super impressive. On the other hand, the Bills have 8 double-digit wins against the Dolphins, which includes 1 shutout and 3 games of 40-plus points scored. They haven't lost in Buffalo to the Dolphins in nearly a decade. This past season, the Bills once again swept the Dolphins. One game was a blowout and the other one came down to a 61-yard game-winning field goal by Tyler Bass. Miami's first-round pick in 2024, defensive end Chop Robinson, is a player that could give the Bills a tough time for years to come. He is quick off the line and he recorded 6 games, despite not getting his first one until Week 9, against Buffalo ironically. However, Robinson recently talked about how his biggest welcome to the NFL moment took place against the Bills. Senior NFL insider Diana Russini had the opportunity to interview Robinson on Scoop City, and she asked him about what offense made him realize that he wasn't in college anymore. Robinson talked about how Dawkins terrorized him and that Dawkins would even chirp at him by letting him know that he needed to get off the ball faster. Robinson mentioned how Dawkins looked great on film, but on the field is where he really showed him that the NFL isn't college. Buffalo's Pro Bowl left tackle has been a cornerstone player for the Bills since he arrived in 2017. Drafted in the second round, Dawkins solidified himself as a starter right from the beginning, and he's been the one protecting Josh Allen's blind side. Even though Robinson could grow as a player and become a problem down the road, he now knows what Dawkins is capable of as the two prepare to face off against each other for the foreseeable future. Dolphins will have interest in Marcus Mariota, says NFL Insider. The Miami Dolphins' lackluster backup quarterback situation proved to be a fatal flaw in 2024. ESPN's Adam Schefter has already reported that the team will have its eye on one veteran as a possible solution. After saying Monday that the Las Vegas Raiders could be the landing spot for impending free agent Marcus Mariota, Schefter added the Dolphins are also a strong possibility. "I'll tell you where else Marcus Mariota is going to be an option, in Miami with Tua Tagovailoa, his good friend Tua," Schefter said on the Pat McAfee show. "He'll be an option there." So there could be a little bit of interest in Marcus Mariota between the Miami Dolphins and Chip Kelly and the Las Vegas Raiders. He'll have some interesting choices this offseason. There could be a little bit of interest in Marcus Mariota between the Raiders and Dolphins. Mariota, 31, spent the 2024 season with the Washington Commanders, his fourth team in as many seasons. The former number 2 overall pick already had a 2-year stint with the Raiders earlier in his career, but speculation of a potential return is linked to the addition of Chip Kelly, who coached Mariota for 2 years at Oregon, as the offensive coordinator in Las Vegas. In 2024, Mariota took snaps in 3 games with the Commanders and finished the year with 4 touchdowns and no interceptions. Earlier this year, Dolphins general manager Chris Grier told reporters that the team made an effort to sign a free agent passer in 2024. "We were in on a number of top-flight backup quarterbacks in the league," Grier said. "We were runner-ups for a couple of them that we wanted to get here, and for some financial restraints and compensatory pick stuff, we just couldn't go to the prices. But all of those guys wanted to come here. It's a position we do not take lightly." It wouldn't be surprising if Mariota was one of the quarterbacks who talked with the Dolphins before opting to play elsewhere. Between the 1-year, $6 million deal he signed and the opportunity to compete with a rookie for snaps, the Commanders offered opportunity and pay to Mariota that the Dolphins would have had a hard time matching. While the urgency to address the quarterback depth has been raised for the Dolphins after backups went 2-4 in Tagovailoa's absence last season, many of the same challenges could arise in 2025. The Raiders have significantly more salary cap space and no entrenched starter in place. And you fan? What do you think of Marcus Mariota? Leave your opinion in the comments.